So for today's video, this one is kind of fun. I just wanted to do an illustration, kind of testing out things for my comic that I'm working on. For those of you who don't know, I've been doing some live streams where I just kind of make some prep work for this comic. Previous live stream, before this particular video goes live, I did some 3D modeling for a big kind of intricate gateway. I have a feeling I'm gonna hate myself when it comes time to actually draw this later. That's not that bad. It's not the worst thing I've modeled that I've made myself draw. It'll be fine. So I wanted to take that model that I previously made and make an illustrated piece just basically showcasing how it would work in the comic and how I do my backgrounds in my comics. This is going to be a little bit more detailed, a little bit more, I guess, effort forward than it would normally be for my comics in particular. Obviously, comics, you gotta draw a lot, so things get simplified down a little bit. But this is kind of a, just testing things out, seeing how I like my kind of rework for these character designs, how the background's gonna look with them, all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. So I start off kind of a dumbass here. I opened up OBS, I hit record, and then proceeded to close OBS instead of minimizing it. So there's a couple things sketched here before the time lapse starts, but I noticed it quick enough that I was able to still record pretty much all the sketching. Unlike a video that never made it to the channel because I did the same thing and lost a vast majority of the time lapse. So small victories, I guess. I don't know. So when it comes to actually incorporating the 3D model that I've done, sometimes I will import the OBJ into Clip Studio, which is a really awesome feature that Clip Studio has. I don't know that I ever sting enough praises for Clip Studio. It's a fantastic program. But in this case, I actually just took a screenshot of the gate in the position that I kind of wanted it in. It's nice when you import it into, not into OBS, into Clip, because then you can kind of move it around and play with this perspective as you're drawing. But in this case, I kind of knew the angle I wanted the gate, so I wanted to match my sketch to that perspective more than match the object to the perspective that I'm drawing, if that makes sense. I don't know. I do it both ways. It depends on the object. Like, if I'm doing a prop or something, I'll pretty much always import that. I did recently with a different model that I live streamed the creation of with a sword and drew a picture of my character holding that as just kind of another test image. I'll input that here if I remember. But that one I did import into Clip and I did it that way. So I do it both ways. It's a really awesome feature that Clip has. I can't say enough how awesome Clip is. I actually really like drawing just kind of, I don't know what you want to call them, like crowd scenes. Scenes where you have the focal point of my characters and then just kind of things happening in the background, whether it's like people back there, whether it's like them at a table in a dining hall or like doing stuff. I don't know. I just think it's fun. I always enjoy those kinds of drawings. I don't do them as often as I maybe would want to just because they tend to be more time consuming, but they're really fun and I really enjoy doing them. So this is kind of, it scratches that itch of something I've been wanting to draw again for a little bit now. So this was fun doing it for that too. Because all these characters kind of in the background don't particularly matter, they're not the focal point, they're just kind of there to fill space. I'm kind of just drawing them without much of an actual sketch. So I'm making it up as I go. When it comes to my actual comic later, when I'm drawing in like background characters, I will have more grounds for what they're supposed to look like. So I'm kind of very loose with it here since this is still kind of early planning for things. I have kind of a style rubric for what like background characters should look like that I'm still kind of working out. But yeah. My characters themselves too, I'm still kind of finalizing what my current character sheets are going to be for these guys. I actually started writing this a few years ago, and then life kind of got in the way, and I only ended up finishing like, I'll say it was like 30 something episodes of it. It's still on Webtoon. I'm not going to link it because, well, okay, yeah, I'll link it. But I'm going to be starting from scratch over for this one from the very beginning. I still have everything that I sketched for it previously, which was, I'll say I had maybe 2/3 of it sketched. I can't quite remember. But the whole thing has been planned out and like, it's just a matter of kind of recontextualizing, fixing the things I wasn't happy with, and I've changed a few designs and trying to just overall have it be more polished than it was previously. This is a long rant for me to say some of my character designs in this aren't completely finalized, and the background characters even less so. But that's why this is all prep work, right? That's what I said. I'm getting things ready, deciding how I want things to look, all that fun stuff. This comic on my original attempt at, is writing and drawing it, publishing it, what do you want to call it, uploading it, whatever. I was trying really hard to make sure that every panel was something that I was proud of, and I really want to keep to that. So even though several years have passed, looking back on that, what I did do before, I was really happy with a lot of it. I think my art has changed a lot. I think this time around I'm planning to go more, I guess, anime style. Something that's a little bit more what people would expect to read when looking at Webtoon, but still kind of keep a lot of my own style and have that still show through to it. We'll see. You know what? I'll put a comparison here of... I'll do it at the end, actually. I'll put a comparison of what this scene looks like compared to how it looked in my original attempt at the comic, but I can put a few shots here just to see what it used to look like a little bit more. I have kind of a more cartoony art style that I tend to draw that I'm more comfortable in, and most of the videos on this channel, I think, most if not all of them, tend to be more in that style, because that's just my comfort style, the style that I'm just more relaxed and feel more confident in. But I feel like for this comic project, I do want to go more with the, like, traditional Webtoon look that people tend to be looking for when they're wanting to read a story on Webtoon. So, pros and cons to that. I've been thinking about making a video just kind of discussing art style and, like, expectations of a webcomic. Because I have a lot of thoughts on that, and I've kind of gone back and forth on it for a lot. But for another time, maybe. A lot of interesting topics when it comes to art style. It's something that when I was younger and starting to try and get into art and be more, I guess, professional presenting with my art, that I was really concerned over was having like a unique art style that was signature to me. And it's funny because as I kind of got over that and just drew what made me happy, that's when my own style kind of ended up developing. So if you're new to art, just draw what makes you happy and you'll get to, finding your own style eventually. It's not something you need to worry about or rush over. This background though, oh boy. So many lines. I knew it. You saw it in the clip earlier, but when I was modeling this, I kind of took back a look and I was like, this is gonna be a pain. And it was a pain. I think I might simplify it more when actually drawing it in the comic for most scenes that it shows up in, which is fine. It'll be pretty easy to simplify it down, just removing a lot of these extra kind of divots and shapes. But so much of this time-lapse is just me drawing straight lines for that line art of the background. When it comes to backgrounds, I feel like it almost feels like I'm cheating because I'm just tracing the 3D model more or less. But I modeled it, so I'm just tracing something that I created. So I don't know. It still feels wrong though. Just tracing anything feels wrong. But it's all my work. I created all of it from scratch. I don't know. I like using 3D model stuff for the backgrounds for my comics, or just in general, but especially for my comics, because then I can have a big like setting and have basically multiple screenshots, or import it and have it from different angles and have it be 100% consistent with itself. So I can draw like, you know, a scene with them standing in a room, and I can have that room from multiple perspectives and have it be completely consistent because I'm just using the same 3D model for reference. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really enjoy it. It's a lot more work up front for a lot of these, especially big sets like this that are only gonna show up in a couple of panels. But I don't know. I enjoy making the models, and I enjoy having the nice backgrounds, but it looks better than if I tried to draw it by hand, I guess, without any reference or any guide. It's just, I guess, the form of drawing backgrounds that I enjoy doing and that I think looks nice for my comics, if that makes sense, and just illustration in general. But yeah, I don't know. It feels wrong still, and I think it always will. Something I sometimes struggle with backgrounds, because my shading is just very flat generally. I don't like rendering very much, so most of my rendering just ends up being pretty flat with some cell shading and some gradients. So I find a lot of times when I'm picking colors for my background, it's really hard to not just overwhelm or look discongruent with my characters in the foreground, or make whatever, interacting with the characters themselves. For this particular piece, I actually really like the colors that I ended up picking. There's some scenes in my comic when I did the original run of it that to this day I just don't like the colors I picked. So that's definitely one of the things that I want to fix this time around, is some of the background coloring. But I think the tones in this one balance out better overall. It's a skill I'm still working on. And shading in general is a skill that I'm still working on, I think. You're never truly done learning when it comes to drawing. There's always new things to learn, new things to improve at. The ceiling, there is no such thing. I'm quite happy with how this piece turned out. I think it, as far as a proof of concept goes, and just kind of seeing what these characters in this style and these designs look like in kind of the setting that I'm building, it's what I wanted. I consider this a successful test. Comparing this to my original version of the gate, I think this gate is more interesting looking. I think this art style looks visually appealing. It's one that takes a little bit more effort for me to draw, but I tend to always like the results of it. I mean, I'm a webcomic fan, or a webtoon anime. Like, I like this. I think it's visually appealing, and I enjoy looking at it. It's just more work for me to do up front. Which is me making comics in a nutshell, isn't it? But comparing it, I like this conceptualization, I think, more than my original run, which is the goal in starting this over, is to make something elevated from what I did previously. So I think this was a successful piece. It's just a test image, just a fun illustration to play with these character designs and just reacquaint myself with the setting. So let me know what you guys thought, because I had fun drawing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is just an original piece. There's no fun challenge or gimmick, and just some pure comic work, some pure illustration. But yeah. Well, as always, thank y'all for watching. Rex, say the outro stuff.
Like and leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing.
I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!